Hello and welcome to the Capybara Radio Show, where we dive deep into the most pressing issues of our time. I'm your host, Neo J. Rong, and today we have a very special episode focusing on one of the biggest financial scandals in recent history, which is the 1MDB scandal. Before that, I want to introduce today's guests, which are Feng Jiayi in the blue, Koi Jingwei in the brown, and Vohan. Together, we will explore the various facets of this complex and far-reaching scandal. As of today, we are turning our attention to the 1MDB scandal, a case that has become synonymous with one of the most significant financial frauds in history. Initially set up as a state investment fund to promote economic development in Malaysia, 1MDB instead became the center of a global corruption scheme involving billions of dollars in embezzled funds, high profile arrests, and far reaching legal battles. This scandal has not only impacted Malaysia's economy and political landscape, but also raised serious questions about the integrity of global financial institutions and the effectiveness of anti corruption measures. So, to start off, let's lay the groundwork for our discussion. So, Jai, could you explain to our listeners what 1MDB was originally established to achieve and how it deviated from its intended purpose?
Okay, thank you, Neil, for having me in the radio show. So, 1MDB was created in 2009 with the ambitious goal of turning Malaysia into a major global player by focusing on strategic investments in areas like energy, real estate, and tourism. The fund was intended to support large-scale infrastructure projects that will spur economic growth and development across the country. However, almost from the outset, the fund's operations were marked by mismanagement and a lack of transparency. Instead of being used for its state purpose, YMDB became a slush fund for high-level officials, including the then Prime Minister Najib Razak, who had substantial control over the fund's activities as chairman of its advisory board. The deviation from YNDB's original goals can be traced back to the way funds were raised and subsequently siphoned off. Billions of dollars were raised through international bonds with the help of major financial institutions like Goldman Sachs. Instead of being channeled into development projects, large portions of these funds were diverted into offshore accounts controlled by Najib and his associates. These funds were then used for personal expenses, luxury real estate purchase, and, and even financing the production of Hollywood films like The Wolf of Wall Street. The combination lack of accountability and unchecked
Sorry,
political
Jai, what did you say? The combination of?
the combination of poor governance, lack of accountability, and unchecked political power turned YNDB from a development fund into a vehicle for one of the largest cases of financial fraud the world has been ever seen. Thank you for Neil.
Okay, so thank you, Jai, for telling me that uh, the one MDB, how was it like originally established to achieve and how it deviated from its intended purpose. I guess you guys are clear with that. So next, Jingwei. The involvement of global financial institutions was crucial in the 1MDB scandal. Could you shed some light on how these institutions like Goldman Sachs played a role in facilitating the corruption?
Okay, sure. Thank you, Jerome. And my name is Jing Wei. So the global financial institutions play a crucial role in facilitating the 1MDB scandal, one of the largest financial frauds in history. Among them, Goldman Sachs was notably instrumental, helping the Malaysian State Investment Fund 1MDB raise a staggering 6.5 billion through a series of bond sales. Despite the numerous red flags and warning signs that surrounded these transactions, Goldman Sachs proceeded with the deals, earning nearly 600 million in fees, a figure that is exceptionally high. Even by Wall Street standards, this significant payout should have raised further scrutiny. But the transactions went ahead without the rigorous due diligence expected of such a prominent financial institution. The funds raised through these bond sales were intended for various development projects in Malaysia, aimed at benefiting, aimed at benefiting the country's economy and its citizens. However, instead of being used for their state purpose, the money was illicitly diverted into a complex web of offshore accounts controlled by corrupt officials and individuals connected to the scheme. These funds were then siphoned off the financial lavish lifestyles, including luxury real estate, art, and even the production of Hollywood films. Goldman Sachs' involvement in the 1MDB scandal has since led to significant legal and financial repercussions for the bank. In 2020, the bank agreed to pay nearly 3 billion in penalties to various authorities, including the US Department of Justice, as part of the settlement. This case underscores the critical role that major financial institutions can play in either enabling or preventing large-scale financial crimes, whether through deliberate actions or negligence. The involvement of such institutions in fraudulent schemes have far-reaching consequences, both financially and in terms of public trust. The 1MDB scandals serve as a stark reminder of the importance of robust oversight and ethical responsibility within the global financial system. It highlights the need for financial institutions to not only conduct throughout due diligence but also to remain vigilant against potential abusers of the financial system. The case also raises broader questions about the accountability of financial institutions and the measures needed to prevent similar scandals in the future. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jingwei. You sure shed some light on how these institutions like Goldman Sachs played a role in facilitating the corruption. Thank you. So, Vohan, we've heard about the financial and institutional aspects, but what about the political angle? How did the concentration of power within Malaysia's government contribute to the corruption in the 1MDB case? Could you tell me about that?
Thank you, Neil. As for the political aspect, the 1MDB scandal had profound political consequences in Malaysia, fundamentally reshaping the country's political landscape. It became a symbol of deep-seated corruption within the ruling government and highlighted the extent to which state institutions can be manipulated for personal gain. At the center of this political storm was the Prime Minister Najib Razak, whose involvement in the scandal directly led to his fall from power. Najib Razak, who served as Malaysian Prime Minister from 2009 to 2018, was deeply implicated in the 1MDB scandal. Investigation revealed that approximately 700 million from 1MDB had been funneled into Najib's personal bank accounts. Although Najib initially claimed the money was donation from a Saudi beneficiary, mounting evidence and international pressure eventually forced him to face the allegations. His connection to 1MDB became a central issue in the 2018 general election, where his administration faced widespread public outrage over the corruption scandal. The 1MDB scandal was a critical factor in the 2018 general election, which became a referendum on Najib's leadership and the corruption within the government. For the first time in Malaysian history, the Barisan National Coalition, which had ruled the country since independence in 1957, was defeated. The opposition coalition, Pakatan Harapan, led by former Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad, capitalized on public anger over 1MDB. Mahathir, who had previously served as Prime Minister from 1981 to 2003, came out of retirement to challenge Najib. promising to address corruption and bring those responsible for 1MDB scandal to justice. After winning the election, Mahathir Mohamad became the world's oldest head of government at age 92. His return to power was driven by a strong mandate to clean up the government and address the corruption that had plagued Malaysia. Mahathir's administration initiated several key reforms aimed at increasing transparency, strengthening the independence of judiciary, and improving the governance of state-owned enterprise. His government also reopened investigation into 1MDB, leading to multiple charges and the eventually conviction of Najib Razak on charges of corruption, money laundering, and abuse of power. Political impact of the 1MDB scandal was not just limited to electoral outcomes. It also invigorated Malaysia's civil society and opposition movements. The scandal became a rallying point for activists, journalists, and opposing politicians who had long criticized the Barisan National Government for its authoritarian tendency and lack of transparency. The role of independent media and whistleblower was crucial in bringing the scandal to light and keeping public pressure on the government. This period saw a resurgence in political activism and more engaged and informed electoral, demanding greater accountability for their leaders. Long-term political impacts of 1MDB scandal continue to resonate in Malaysia. Even after Mahathir's unexpected resignation in 2020 and the subsequent political instability, the legacy of 1MDB remains a significant issue. It has set a precedent for how corruption cases are handled in the country and has increased public expectation for transparency and good governance. This scandal also serves as a cautionary tale for other countries in the region, demonstrating the potential political fallout of corruption at the highest level of government. In summary, the 1MDB scandal did more than just expose financial wrongdoing. It fundamentally altered Malaysia's political landscape. It led to the downfall of a long-standing political regimen, sparked insignificant reforms, and empowered civil society and the opposition. The scandal impact on Malaysia politics is a powerful reminder of the importance of accountability and the potential for corruption to bring about profound political change. Thank you so much, Neil. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Vohan. So, in conclusion, the 1MDB scandal serves as a stark reminder of how the abuse of power, coupled with weak oversight, can lead to widespread corruption with devastating consequences. It was highlighted the need for stronger governance, greater transparency, and more rigorous international cooperation to prevent such incidents in the future. As the world continues to grapple with the fallout, the lesson learned from 1MDB remain crucial for safeguarding the integrity of financial systems and ensuring accountability at all levels. Thanks for listening to us.